Hunt is presented by the Canadian Coalition for Firearm Rights. The CCFR is Canada's gun lobby. Also brought to you by Vortex Canada, the force of optics. Prophet River Firearms, your source for Canada's finest firearms, optics, and accessories. Legal services provided by Loberg Ector, your complex commercial litigation experts.
Hey everybody, welcome to My Best Hunt. I'm your host, Rod Giltack, and thanks for joining me again. Today, our special guest in the studio again is Alan Homer. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks, Rod. Thanks for having me again. Really appreciate it.
I'm glad that you came out. The last story was really great. Thanks. And we've got a good one today. But before we get into that, I'd just like to give you an opportunity just to talk about, introduce yourself, talk about what you do, where people can find you.
Okay. Well, my name's Al Homer. I'm the creator of BC Extreme Outdoorsman YouTube channel. I've had it since 3 years, I think now, a little over 3 years. And I also have Instagram and Facebook. You can find me, same name, BC Extreme Outdoorsman. And this hunt's going to be about hunting moose with my cousin Rick and our good friend Norm.
Awesome. Well, before we get into that, the last time that you're here, you told a story, which I thought was really great. So I apologize to anyone if they've heard it already, but it's really it's a special story. So, And that story is how you start or why you started filming your hunts.
Well, I started filming my hunts back in 2010 because my uncle, who I used to hunt with all the time, couldn't go with us anymore. In my teens and early 20s, him and I hunted together every year for elk in the East Kootenays. Grew up in trail, but in the East Kootenays would go over there and hunt all the time. And he's the one that taught me a lot of backcountry hunting, that kind of stuff, like fly camping, survival stuff and stuff like that. And he taught me a lot about hunting as well. So I used to video all my hunts for him when he couldn't come with us anymore. And then in 2011, when I went sheep hunting, I had a Delorme InReach. And I set him up on his computer so that he could watch my tracks and follow my progress as I went on that sheep hunt. And my aunt said he wouldn't leave the computer once I left on the trip, and he just watched all my tracks. And he would ask me different questions when I got back. Why did I do this? Why did I do that? And my aunt said all of a sudden she heard him yell, "He got a ram," because I sent him a message saying I got my ram.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So he was there.
So he's not around any longer.
He's not. He sadly passed away on Father's Day in 2012. Still tough to talk about, but I asked my aunt if I could have some of his ashes to put in one of his shell casings from his rifle. He shot a 300 H&H Magnum. Not a lot of people did, so I thought put it in his casing. And I did that, and she said I could, and I pack it with me whenever I go hunting. And I actually made one for my 3 cousins as well. And they all have one as well. But he's been on every hunt with me. He's helped me out on many hunts. I can tell when he's there. I don't know if people believe in that, but it's kind of cool. And the only hunt he didn't go on with me was when I went to New Zealand hunting in, I think, 2015, I think I went.
Because you didn't want to end up in detention.
I was worried that they would confiscate him and not believe me what's in there, thinking there's something in there.
Yeah. That's a great story.
Yeah, thanks.
Story. Okay, so you have speaking of great stories, you have a great one for us today, and it's a moose hunt, you said.
It's a moose hunt, yeah. Rick, Norm, and I have been hunting moose together for quite a few years. Rick's my cousin. Norm is a good friend of Rick's. He was his best man at his wedding, and I've known Norm for over 40 years, and we consider him family. He's done everything with our families and stuff. He's a super nice guy. And he's pretty popular on my YouTube channel. Everybody really likes to see him and asks about him and stuff like that.
All right. And whereabouts in the country was this?
Where we're going hunting?
Yeah.
Way northern BC into Yukon and then back into BC. It's a 39-hour drive one way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And what time of year?
We usually leave middle of September. We leave for 3 weeks because you're pretty much driving a week. So 2 weeks of hunting.
And there's lots of game up there?
Tons.
That's not like the lower mainland of British Columbia.
No, it's very good. Okay, well, the hunt started on September 16th as it usually does around that time of year with Rick showing up at my house. And I believe that year Norm was driving, so we had to wait for Norm. And of course, Norm calls and said he's only in Rock Creek and he has to come to Kamloops, and he still had like a 3.5 hour drive. So we can't load anything. So I think Rick and I actually went and got groceries without Norm this time, because Norm's always late. Right. Always late.
You're not mad though?
No, that's Norm.
You're still hunting with him?
Oh, absolutely. He's a great guy. Right. So Norm shows up, we get the truck loaded, and we head out. And it's a 39-hour drive, one way, usually nonstop. We take turns. We might sleep on the side of the road for maybe 4 hours. So we drove all that day, and we got into camp at dark the next night. And we just set up the tent and got the wood stove out and get our cots set up and stuff like that. And basically just had a quick bite to eat and went to bed. Next morning we woke up and we had breakfast, and then we got firewood, put the quads away, and got some water and finished setting up camp. I think that year I forgot to bring the table, so we had to build a table, which was okay because we had plywood laying around for that. And so in the afternoon, we thought, Rick always says, let's go for a look. So we go for a look. We head up to the place we call the crossing. And we just got there. I wasn't there for 2 minutes. I put my binoculars up and I spotted a nice bull, probably about 4:30, and he had a cow with him. So it was going to be a long hike, so I went on my own. Rick and Norm aren't in the greatest shape. They don't like to hike too much, so
we'll make sure they don't see this.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I went on my own. I rode my quad probably three kilometers closer, and then I had a 2 kilometer hike through terrible alders and stuff like that. And I get into position. I set everything up because I knew that bull was there. And I let a call out, and he stood up. There he was. Ranged him, dialed, waited for the right position, sent the round with my 338 Lapua, and that was it. He dropped, and then the work started. So it was 6:30. I headed up to the bull. Rick and Norm got their quads in. It was after dark by the time they got there, so I didn't really have any pictures of that. And processed the moose, so we had 2 quads to get it out with. Of course, we get lost for like 3 hours because we didn't get back to my quad until midnight. And in the process of getting lost, I'm walking, so I'm beating through the bush. I'm going first, trying to find the way. Norm rolls his quad, hurts his shoulder. Get his quad back on there, and then we continued on. So we get back to my quad at about midnight. Head back to camp. It's about 1:30 a.m. when we get back to camp. So we basically just took the moose quarters off the quads, put them on a tarp, went to bed. Next morning, woke up, took care of the moose. We hung it, skinned it, and cleaned the quarters and put bags on them. And that was the morning. And then that night, we thought we'd go to the honey hole. So we go to the honey hole. I believe Rick and Norm went. No, we were just glassing because we were tired, right? Of course, we spot a bull and a couple cows. So Rick and Norm head in. I stay where I'm at, and I'm watching the whole thing here and videoing it as I go. And Norm harvested that moose. So we had 2 moose in 24 hours. I head over there. We get down to the moose, and I did forget the one thing there. After I shot my moose that day, I was skinning the head, and I had doing a dumb thing. I was pulling the knife towards me, skinning the skull, and that knife slipped and I buried it about 1 inch into my leg. So stabbed myself, and it hurt like hell. It was really sore. I probably should have had stitches. But so every time I walked in the alders would smack my knee, and it was just like somebody was basically punching the wound. It hurt. So even in the video, you can hear me kind of wincing at the pain. So we take care of that moose. Again, back to camp. Didn't take as long as it did the other one. We knew we didn't have to worry about GPS tracks. Left that moose on the tarps, basically had a bite to eat. We always have a traditional Mickey. We always drink a Mickey in honor of harvesting that moose. With my moose, we didn't because we were too tired, but with Norm's, we did. I believe he had Glaiva. Usually we have butterscotch ripple, but for some reason he had Glaiva. So we get back to camp. Again, leave the moose on the tarps. The next day, we hang that one, skin it, and we had to put new meat poles up because those ones were rotten. In the process of doing that, we used heavier ones, and it got hung up on a branch, and Norm went underneath it to unhook it when the rope snapped. And about 1.5 pound snatch block came down and hit Norm right straight on top of the head. So now we've had 3 injuries in 24 hours. Norm should have had stitches. I gave him the choice. We go to Whitehorse or you let me fix it. He let me fix it. So I made steri strips out of Band-Aids. I now carry steri strips with me, and it healed perfectly. And then after that, we went out for another hunt.
And it got interesting.
It got interesting. So Norm's head did heal up pretty good, until a few days later when he decided to get something out of his truck, and he smacked his head on the sill of the truck and ripped it wide open again. So I think to this day he has a pretty good scar there, but otherwise it would have healed pretty good, and I'm no doctor. So
it's not your fault.
No,
Okay.
not at all. And he had the choice to go to Whitehorse, but
Yeah.
So the next few days were pretty uneventful. We'd go out hunting every morning and every night. We did see moose every day and every night, small bulls that we couldn't get in on because we ran out of daylight, stuff like that, or they just went in the timber. And then one evening we decided to go to the honey hole again. So we go to the honey hole just to do some glassing into there, because you can park a long ways away and glass in there and see all of it. And then if you spot a moose, you go for it. So I don't know, probably around 4 o'clock, we spot a cow and a 2-point bull. Yeah, and in this dry creek bed that we know. We still had lots of time. We'd only been there for 5 days, I think, at this point. So we thought we'd just keep watching. And farther up in the honey hole, we spot a cow, and then it had a decent bull with it. Nothing huge, but in the 40s. So Rick and I decided to go for it. But Rick's going to have to hike a bit. Rick doesn't like to hike. So I made a suggestion where we should go, and he's like, no, we shouldn't go up there. And it's the perfect spot to go. I said, okay, where do you want to go? He said, let's cut over there, or like in front of the trees, and we'll call them out. Like, okay, so we start hiking in, and as we're hiking in, we'd stop and look, and I'd say, oh, let's just go a little farther. And Rick would go, and he would say, oh, we got to go over there. I said, no, let's just keep going this way a little more, and then we'll cut over. And okay, so we'll go, and we're going, and finally, we're at the base of the mountain, and I'm going, let's just go up there 200 yards, and we'll cut straight across. We'll be right above the moose. He's like, oh, he didn't want to do it. And I'm like, come on, let's go. So we start hiking up, and he kept wanting to cut over to the right. And I'm like, no, we just got to get up that little ridge. It's not that far. So we get him up there finally, and we cut across, and we get to a spot, we get set up, and I spot the cow. There's the cow, I think to our left, looking up at us. So I got it on video, and as we're looking at it, I look to my right with my eyes, and I see the bull there. So I pan over, and I showed Rick the bull. So Rick's getting ready to shoot. He shooting a 378 Weatherby as well, and I think we're 200 yards from the moose. He takes a shot. He hits it good, and the moose kind of ran away and then went behind a tree. I could see it, but he couldn't. And then the moose kind of moved to the left and then started running towards us. Not running, but walking fast. And Rick seen him again, then Rick shot him again, and then the moose went down. So that was our third moose down. Third evening, another evening kill where we're going to be harvesting or processing a moose in the dark. No big deal. We've done it lots. So we had to go back to the bikes, bring the bikes in to where the moose was. By then it's dark already. We get the moose all quartered up or gutted and quartered up and on the quads, and we head back. This time we had our Mickey of butterscotch ripple. We just pass that around between the three of us till it's gone in honor of the moose and thanking him. It's going to feed our families for the next year. So we get back to camp, and basically we left the moose on the tarp again. The next day we hung it up. We hung it up, cleaned it and quartered it or skinned it and stuff, and got rid of the hides and bagged it. And we spent the next 2 days there just basically relaxing and visiting with our miner friend up there.
Well, that's good. That's good. So, I guess the good news is you got 3 moose.
We got 3
which
moose,
is pretty rare for resident hunters down south.
Yeah.
Is it, so it's not a draw system up there?
It is now.
It is now. Okay.
It wasn't though. It shouldn't be, but it is now.
Okay.
Yeah. So last year was the first year I didn't go in there in almost 20 years.
So you get 3 moose. That's the good news. And the bad news is you rolled a quad.
Yep.
You stabbed yourself.
Yes.
Somebody split their head open.
Yes.
You forgot the table.
You forgot the table, yeah.
Yeah. And did I miss anything? Is there any other compelling reasons why I wouldn't have wanted to be on that hunt?
Not on this hunt, but there's other hunts that you probably wouldn't have been on. Like one time we hit a deer with a bear in its mouth with a truck.
Oh, okay. Yeah. A twofer. We call
Yes.
that. Yeah.
A couple of years ago when Rob and I were coming back, a cow run into my trailer while I was going down the highway.
Do you have any footage of that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
That's too bad.
No. And my truck, it's a 99 Dodge Ram diesel, and it's in immaculate condition. And I don't like to drive it. I don't drive it much. And I drove it on, and that cow missed it by about an inch. The cow was clear of my truck, but then spun around at the last minute, and its head caught the V nose of the trailer and just implanted it in the side.
Yeah. Well.
So yeah, we've always had things happen, but nothing too serious, thank God.
Yeah, well, y'all made it out alive on that
We
hunt
did,
at least,
yes.
right?
Yeah, and
That's
everyone
awesome.
since. Yep.
That's a great story.
Thank you. Well, it was a good hunt. We got 3 moose in a relatively short amount of time. That doesn't happen all the time.
You made it out alive?
Made
Barely?
it out alive, yeah. Norm and Rick, 2 great guys. I couldn't ask for any better guys to go moose hunting with. I've known them all my life. Basically, Rick is family. I consider Norm family as well. But sometimes the moose hunts can go a lot longer than we want. I remember one time we always, when we wake up in the morning, we always say, it's like Groundhog Day when we were doing the same thing over and over again. Well, this one morning we get up. I think it was Rick's turn to cook breakfast and go start the generator. We take turns. So I get up. I look over at Norm. And Rick's in the tent, and I look at Norm. I just smile, eh? And I motion to Rick to look at Norm. Rick looks at Norm. And Rick goes, Jesus Christ, Norm, you got your boots on already. You haven't even put your pants on yet. So Norm's really slow, and he's always late, like we say. So we had to wait for Norm to take his boots off again, which is a process, and put his pants on because he couldn't fit his pants on over top of his boots. And yeah, just really good memories with those guys. I got lots of them. Yeah, it's a good trip, and I miss hunting with the guys. Didn't hunt with them last year due to it's now limited entry up there, and I didn't get drawn. Rick did get drawn, luckily, and they went in and they did harvest a moose. But I think the odds are really high, so I don't even put in. It's just too far to go for one moose for me.
Yeah. That's a long drive.
It is. Yeah. 39
Absolutely.
hours I've gone. I went since 2023, I'd been up there every year for 16 years in a row.
Yeah.
And never for 3 weeks with Rick and Norm, and Rob went, and a few other guys. After a while, Norm's wife would only allow him to go every second year.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that was a really great story.
Thank you.
But before we run out of time, I just want to have you tell people where they can find your stuff again.
Found myself on YouTube. Look up BC Extreme Outdoorsman, all one word, or Facebook and Instagram, BC Extreme Outdoorsman as well. And I welcome comments and likes and subscribes, please. And if you want to message me or email me, I welcome that too. And I'd like to thank all my viewers that are supporting me now. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I hope to bring you more content and good content in the future.
Awesome. Well, it was a great story, and I really appreciate you sharing it with everyone. And thanks for being here.
Thank you. And I really appreciate you having me here as well. It's been fun. Thank you.
In case you weren't aware, this was episode 13, the last episode of season 1 of My Best Hunt. I hope you all enjoyed watching the show as much as I enjoyed producing it. You know, when we started the show, we weren't exactly sure how all of it would fit together or how it would all work, but I think we've got it dialed in now. So the good news is we are actively working on season 2 as we speak, and it's going to be bigger and better than season 1. Also, I want to thank all the hunters who took a chance on this show and made their way to Chilliwack, British Columbia, just to be a part of it. And so really appreciate that. Also, I want to thank all of our sponsors as well. You know, we can't create productions like this without support from our business community. So we appreciate everything that all of these people have done for us. We couldn't have done it without them. Anyway, thank you all again for watching. Take care, and we'll see you in season 2.
If you'd like to be a guest on My Best Hunt, email us a link to your video at show@mybesthunt.ca.